Look at beautiful eyes. Did you get beautiful eyes? Yeah, she's not the best with compliments. Where are we? So, yes, it's Sunday. Sunday again. So I thought I would just quickly record my experience from last week. I am on my journey of trying to find back my passion for surfing that I somehow just lost it over the months, maybe years, slowly. And since I live here in Fuerteventura, where I can surf almost every day, I decided to do something about it and enrolled into a surf coaching, a 12 weeks long surf coaching and surf skate training. I have talked about it more in the first episode, but yeah, week 2. Well, week 2 was all about going back to the basics. After a couple of days of surfing with Jonathan, the surf coach, we agreed that I go back to practice my pop-up, which is basically almost the very beginning of a series of movements once you paddle for a wave. And I don't know why in the past I felt ashamed that if I had to practice my pop-up, because it's not the first time. I did have to practice my pop-up in the past as well. I think I have, well no, I know for sure I have a few bad habits, and that does affect the start of catching a wave massively, actually. A pop-up is basically setting you up for success on a wave, and if there is something that there is a part or a movement that is actually, how to say this, there were some bad habits, then I wouldn't say it sets you up of failing a wave, but it definitely sets you up to start with a disadvantage that you have to correct on the wave. So your focus goes on fixing fixing your posture, fixing your stance on the board and whatnot. So yeah, it's good to have a good pop-up. Oh gosh, what's going on with my hair? I guess 4 days of surfing and lots of salt water. So yeah, I went back to practice my pop-up, and because since we have video analysis and we have video recordings from every session, I could watch back and see exactly what Jonathan is talking about and why I need to practice and relearn my pop-up. His pop-up method, from comparing to other surf schools or whatever surf coaching that I have attended in the past, seems extremely difficult. Like there is just so many elements to focus on. So the surf lessons this week was for me really about the pop-ups, and the session was I had 2 surf lessons, and each session was I was just really focusing on the movement series of the pop-ups. I very quickly noticed that I can't even focus on them all. So on the first lesson, when I tried to do all of the little parts that I need to remember and focus on, I was just massively failing. Like it was very overwhelming actually in the water to like remember of all the steps and try to do it. So while this time Jonathan was on the beach watching, I decided to in the water to like break it down a bit and focus on different parts, which then helped a lot actually. And I could feel the difference. Also the difference on what kind of waves I'm taking. With this pop-up method, I was more confident to paddle for and catch actually steeper waves and more under the pocket, right under the pocket, or even starting with the foam and then going out of the pocket. Coffee break. So yeah, the first lesson was great. I had tons of waves. We went into a super nice spot. It was small but glossy, clean, very beautiful. Small, that for a short board was a bit challenging, but there was someone else on a foam board and a long board, and I was catching more waves than them together. So I think like the paddle strength and my strength for surfing is like building up, like it's coming along. My wave count is way higher. Now it's more about focusing on the quality waves and the start of the wave, which is the pop-up. So I was very happy with the first surf lesson, and my conclusion was like, okay, I really do need to go back to the basics, and maybe it shouldn't be shameful, but more like a sort of refresher of, oh yeah, you could actually improve and get better if you go back to the basics and you look at the fundamentals again, which then made me realize that also in life, and maybe even just how I got to this stage of like losing passion for surfing, and in correlation of like thinking where and how I should be surfing based on how long since how long I am surfing and how often I can go surf. That's just pure pressure in the end, for yourself for no reason. And since you are trying to constantly develop and evolve from a certain level, and pressuring yourself to be better from that level onwards, you don't think about going back to the fundamentals. Sometimes I do switch up boards, going from shortboard to a longboard, a bigger board, and that I considered like going back to the basics, because you need to slow down the movement, and yeah, I consider that as going back to the basics. But now I really feel the difference of like going back to the basics with a short board, and actually instead of going for big waves, going for small waves, like go for small clean waves, or just small but messy waves, or fast breaking waves, because that's where you can really reconsider and practice your basics, your fundamentals, and fine tune it. So yeah, it was very humbling to go back to the basics. I felt a bit ashamed, but I came over quite fast, and I really saw the difference, why it's good. So it was amazing. I ended up surfing. The surf lesson was on Thursday and Friday morning, and I ended up surfing actually a Thursday afternoon on my own, on my favorite spot where there was like big waves. And since I was practicing the pop-ups in the morning, I was catching like set bomb waves right at the peak, and I don't think I would have been able to catch those waves last week or the week before. Like it really needed this confidence, and also like these fundamentals, focusing on the fundamentals to set myself up on success for the big waves as well. And I also served, I believe, Friday afternoon and Saturday morning. So I served like 4 or 5 times, which I can actually call, how you call it? Like I can double check, because I am checking myself. And Saturday I served like 1.5 hour. Friday I served almost 2 hours in the morning, and 1 hour in the evening. I served Thursday, I believe it is Thursday, 1.5 hour in the morning, and then Wednesday also 1 hour in the morning. So it's a lot, and if I actually just see my wave counts, it's a lot, and it's good, because that's how I build the confidence, right? So my pop-up and my basics is still nowhere where it should be, and I could confirm that because on the second lesson of the week from the videos, I am repeating the same mistakes and bad habits. And I wonder if it's because I had a really good session the night before on big waves, so it gave me this self-confidence of like, okay, I don't have to anymore look at it. So I will definitely do that more next week, to continuously focus on the pop-up and the beginning of the riding the waves, because I need to do it before I even consider anything else, really. And then surf skate was actually very nice. I went to surf skate on Tuesday, and Cynthia is back, which is super nice. I love surf skating with her and the group, and we were building lines. But then the building lines, actually we were building backside lines, and very quickly that turned into a backside line finishing in a snap and a sliding snap. So already the backside line was challenging with a cutback, but with the snap it was even more. So as much as I'm going back to the basics with surfing, I am developing or like going forward or like doing things with surf skate that I was never imagining I would ever do, and I wasn't even desiring to do, but I really see the benefits of it, like because of the weight shifting on the surf skate is really helpful to translate into the water. So yeah, happy about that. And I went for a surf-specific surf skate the day after, Wednesday afternoon.
instead of surfing, which maybe I should have considered to do. And that was actually really frustrating because that session was on the flat and it was a different teacher. And I don't think it's the teacher's fault, but I am on an old shitty surf skate and I'm still managing to do things, so I don't really think about replacing the surf skate for a good blah 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 surf skate. So I can I can do the moves and the practice is faster or better, because I feel like if I can do it on a shitty old surf skate where everything is more difficult, if I can learn things on that board, then I really learn it, you know. And I feel like if I would change it into a better, easier moving surf skate, then it would be more easier for me to do those things, but actually it would be more difficult to do those things in the water. Anyway, so we were doing it on the flat, and my surf skate is not that best for that. Also, how the teacher likes to practice things is very narrow and not, I don't know, like it doesn't feel good. I don't know how to explain this, and it's the second time actually with this teacher where I get frustrated. I think even more times, honestly. I don't know if it's because he's a man. It's not true, because Jonathan is also a man. I don't know why. I just get frustrated on his lesson, during his lesson, and I don't have any success feeling. I don't know how to explain this. Like, I don't. It's nice to sometimes feel that, like, oh, you can do this, or you learn something new. On his lessons, I feel like it's impossible to do it, and even by the end of the lesson, I just barely do it, but it doesn't feel good, and I was struggling throughout the whole lesson. And when I go into the water, it doesn't translate at all for me from the surf skate into the water. As said, I don't think it's the teacher's fault. I know that some students, I think it's a matter of like what works for who. But overall, week 2 was actually very nice. Yesterday, when I was going into the water and my body was already aching for real, like I could really feel at this point like the surf skates and the surfs, and especially my shoulder blade that is hurting today. But today is Sunday. I'm gonna rest. I decided to rest. I was thinking to surf, but I'm gonna rest and do my detox, which was really nice the last week, the green juice detox, and just do some stretchings and prepare for next week. But yeah, what I was about to say is that yesterday when I was walking into the water and I went to surf with someone from my surf skate group, and I was having a good mood. Like, even though it was my 4th, or I don't even remember, 5th surf of the week, and I was tired, I actually had a good mood. I had a smile on my face. There was a surf teacher constantly dropping on my wave or pushing his students on my waves. Still didn't get grumpy, and I just enjoyed the session no matter what. And I think it as a big positive thing, because I know that in other times this would have been considered for me a bad session. That doesn't give me joy and pleasure. So I think going back, like actually taking some guidance and lessons and some perspective on my surfing is really helping to somehow bring back the joy into my free surfing. So yeah, thanks for watching. It's a long episode. I don't think I'm gonna edit it. And it feels like that I'm talking to someone, so Today was more like talking to someone, but actually these videos are still for myself to document this process. So if I ever in the future get back to this pitfall of like not having fun and I don't enjoy surfing or surf skating, I can watch back some of this and remember what did make the change to get back and feel the bliss, because these sports are still, these activities are still my happy places per se, and I don't want to ever lose the joy to the point of like I'm not going because of the built up experiences and looking for something else that gives me that joy and bliss. So yeah, let's see what week 3 is gonna look like. I am very positive about week 2 and looking forward for week 3.